traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Quotes from Mike Tyson is he says everybody's got a plan and an opinion until they get punched in the face, and that's what trading is all about, folks. Is don't get punched in the face. You know, you can make one mistake. That's not a problem. The second mistake, that's the problem. The first mistake teaches. The second mistake kills, and try to remember that. Looking at this natural gas chart, as you can see, this has been coming down, and there is a bottom being formed, but it's not quite yet. We tried it. We lost 10 points on our first trade, and that haven't done anything since that time. We made new lows yesterday. We're bouncing just a tiny bit today, but it's still down on the day, given the fact that we have strength just about everywhere across the board. Even the soybeans, corn, wheat, all that stuff is up. Along with the cattle market and the metals market and, of course, the stock indice market. So those are things that you got to keep in mind when you get really bullish or really bearish something. If it's not working in your favor, there's something wrong. And I go by the main factor is when I was on the Florida Exchange back in Chicago back in '82, the 3 years that I was there, I had a deal with old dog with Barry Lind, and he asked me what would be the best thing he could do to help me, and because I had done a huge amount of business with him through the meat markets when I was at Drexel. All my cattle and pork bellies and hog business went through Barry Lind, and it was really substantial. And so he was trying to pay me back a little bit, and I said, really, Barry, all I really need to do is if I'm in a position at the start of the third day and that position doesn't have a profit, I would appreciate you just taking it out. If you could put that on the computer. He says, we can do that. He says, what I have to do is, he says, when that happens, he said, the runner is going to come up to you and say, it's time to get out. And you just give him the nod and he'll take you out. Automatically, I can't do it, but we can program it to let him know. And I said, okay, let's do it. And over the 3 years, there was probably 5 or 6, maybe a few more times that happened. And folks, every single time when I went back to look at it, all I had to do was reverse and forget about the position because it had monster moves. In other words, continuation moves. And that reminds me of one of my customers at Drexel, Burnham Lambert. Maury was a real estate guy in LA, very successful in Beverly Hills, and he was extremely bearish, the T-bill market. And, and so he kept trying, and he'd put another 10 grand in the account and another 10 grand in the account. And finally he comes in one day and he puts 50 grand in the account. And I said, oh, no. And you know what he did? He reversed. He took that $50,000. Instead of being bearish, he turned bullish, and he never touched it for well over a year, and he made a lot of money, many, many times more than what he lost. And I asked him once after it started working, I said, Maury, how come you're doing this? And he said, I'm tired of getting beaten up. He says, why should I do it the easy way? And by golly, folks, sometimes that's right with trading. You got to do it the easy way. Finding out that the trend is your friend is the hardest thing to do, but when you do realize that, you've got a really good advantage. And that's one of the reasons why we have ABCD patterns. If you have higher bottoms, you have a uptrend. If you have lower tops, you have a downtrend. I'm going to bring a chart up here to show you what that looks like because it gives you a really good case. Now, this happens to be Cardano, folks. Remember 3 years ago, back in 2000, actually it was 2019, this was trading at 6 cents, and it went all the way up to $3.03, I believe. That's from, stop and think of that, folks, 8 cents to $3.03. That was a huge move. But you can see here you can see higher bottoms. You can see that very easily. You can see the higher tops. that leads to the beautiful AB equals CD pattern right there. You can see the 135 pattern on the downside. Oh dear, I don't think I put it up. Shut the front door and raise the rent. Folks, I'm a little bit tired, folks. I'll give you some slight advice, folks. When you're 82 years old, don't drive 1,000 miles in one day. Not a good idea. Even though it was worth it, it's still good. Anyway, look, this is a beautiful 1-3-5 pattern. There's 1, 3, and 5. Look at the 3 drive to a top pattern. Now, what you want to do is you want to see this to break. Now, the reason why I brought this chart up is because when we do our day trading gig on the 23rd of February, I'm going to be giving you a couple of cryptocurrency trade ideas. They're going to be cheap, under 50 cents, but if they hit, they're going to be worth a lot, and your risk will be half of whatever you put in. So if you put in for 50 cents and it goes to 25 cents, you're going to be wrong, but that's how you have to play it. So we're going to be looking at those as we go on. We know that the cryptocurrency is for real, folks. The reason why, for 2 years, we've had them on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange as listed. They're starting to pick up volume and players. Open interest is increasing. So these are here to stay. You might not believe it, but they're there. And basically, it's all about the blockchains, folks. It's not about the coins. It's about the blockchains. And that's why you have to pay attention to it. Hey, I don't know the difference between tulip bulbs and cryptocurrencies or anything like that. All I do is look at the charts. And if there's a trading opportunity there, by golly, I'm going to be the one that takes a pretty good shot at it, okay? That's the main thing of what you want to be looking at. But this was basically showing you that when you have an uptrend, you have higher bottoms and higher tops. Now, if you flip that over and reverse it, it's lower tops and lower bottoms. On page 249 in Gartley's book, he called that the ABCD pattern. It later became the P1, P2, P3, P4 by Charles Lindsay, and then also it was done by a man named Franklin Tubbs, also brought it out as a system, and he named it a little bit differently. I don't remember. It wasn't letters, it was numbers, but it wasn't 1, 2, 3, 4. He did it in a crazy way. It was exactly the same pattern. He copied it right out of Gartley's book. And I'll tell you, there's more trading systems have been copied out of that book than any book ever. I mean, it's just got so many of them. Head and shoulders patterns, rising bottoms, rising tops, cups handles, all of them come out of the Gartley book. So just keep in mind, folks, it's not what you make, it's how much you don't lose. And that's the real key to trying to do what you're supposed to be doing, and that is keeping these markets at bay and not running away to the downside with a market, to the upside when the market's going straight up. You don't want to be trying to short that. So those are just a couple of things. I'm going to be sharing with you a really interesting trade in the euro that's almost ready to happen when we get back from the break. It will be really interesting to watch it happen because it's fulfilling right now as we speak. And, part of it was refilled last night, real early this morning, around 2 in the morning. And now we're looking at it, getting ready to see if it's going to reverse where we think it's going to be. The good part is it's only got a very, very short risk. Hey, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you looking for a way to consistently add winning trades to your portfolio? Tom O'Brien is here to help. Tom O'Brien has been successfully trading markets for over 30 years. A frequent contributor to TD Ameritrade Network and CNBC, Tom O'Brien founded TFNN over 20 years ago to help educate investors just like you. Tom's daily market newsletter, Market Insights, is published every morning when the markets open to give you the competitive informational edge you need to succeed. These newsletters are packed full of Tom's advanced technical analysis and are geared to deliver comprehensive strategies for a successful portfolio. Get Tom O'Brien's newsletter, Market Insights, today and try all of our products and newsletters 30 days risk-free with our money-back guarantee at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we have a situation going on now in the euro as we speak. I posted the chart up here so that you can take a look at it. It's quite clear. Hold on, well, it should be clear, but let's get it up here again just to make sure. I think this will do it. Okay, there it is. You'll see last night, about 2 in the morning, Tucson time, we made a perfect Gartley pattern, a beautiful ABC pattern. You can see it very clearly. Now, all of this time during here, these last 8 days, the people that bought that now, they were setting with a loss. You see it's broken down quite a bit. And so what we want to be watching, and just now it's hitting, is the 61% retracement of this move down. There it is right there. That makes this a 1-3. There's a 1-3-5 pattern forming right here. So you got to put your stop right above the 78% level. And that would give you a $300 loss if you're wrong. And if you're right, it will pay you $1,000. How do you arrive at that? Well, from high to low to high to low, that paid you $1,200 because this was the 61% retracement up here, and there was the 78% level. This move right here was just about $1,200, and now what we're looking at is the selling right here, which is just hit just a second ago, a few minutes ago, and stop is right above this level right here. Now that means that your profit objective would be the A, B, C, D that will take you off the charts here to the downside, and it will be taking out all of these lows over the last 10 days if it starts to work. So you can see the potential in the profit. The problem is, folks, it only works about 65% of the time, but the payoff is better than 2 to 1. No place in Vegas do you get any kind of odds like that. So that's what this pattern recognition stuff is all about. Now, there's all kinds of patterns on here. That's why when we did the Floor Traders Handbook, all the statistics that we did were based on the euro because it was perfect. It doesn't have gyration moves like we see in the S&P and the Dow Jones and, God forsake, crude oil and even natural gas. But these are very, very specific. You can see the ABCDs all through here. So that's what you try to do. Now, this happens to be an hourly chart, but it gives you a pretty good idea of what's going on. and it tells you it shouldn't get much higher than the 61% retracement. It's hit it 3 times and hasn't gone above it yet because I still have my beeper on to tell me that it's gone above it. So that's what we're watching here in the euro. Might not work, but that's the kind of trade we hope we can do, seeing setups like this when we do the day trading thing on the 23rd of February, which should be a lot of fun. Yesterday, I happened to stop in at my old buddy's coin place there, where we used to do business quite a bit, and his widow is running the place now. And when I walked in, Tracy almost fainted, because I hadn't seen her since her husband died 3 years ago, and it was really fun to visit with her. And she told me that the business is just absolutely booming for silver, not so much for gold, but she said we just can't get enough silver bullion coins in. She said they just come in and they're gone in just a day or two. So that may, and silver has taken off, but not nearly like what has happened to gold. So that's pretty much what we're paying attention to here today. Okay, now, the one thing I wanted to bring to your attention, folks, is when you work with these patterns and trades, and I'm going to go over the natural gas one more time. Let me get it up here because this is reasoning behind this is to tell us not to make too many mistakes as we're doing this. But here's the long-term chart, the weekly chart of the thing. Now, we were really bullish right here. This is where the whole thing started, and we had a nice move here, had a nice move back in here, and then you had, look at this perfect ABCD to the top, folks. This double top up here, and it's an ABCD. My goodness, we were bearish there. We said $10 should be it. We have a sharp break. Where does it go to? Right to the 61% retracement, and we wrote a lot of that down, but not all of it. No one ever takes the whole move, folks. That just doesn't happen. That's why fear of missing out is on the back of your brain all the time. Ooh, I could have made more. I could have made more. And as Mark Douglas has told me many times of his work with the really, really big super traders, names that are household names, that's their biggest I'm trying to think of the word. I can't remember it. Anyway, it's their biggest boogaboo or something like that they're always hanging over their head that they're going to miss something out. And the simple answer to that is you're not going to get it all. The only way you can get it all is to buy the high or buy the bottom, sell the top, or sell the top and buy the bottom. And very few people do that. Sure, they might do it, and I do it occasionally, but do I take it all the way down? Absolutely not, because I'm focused on how much risk is involved. That's what the whole key to what we're doing here is about this. Now, when you're doing these types of patterns and stuff, the one thing that makes them work is you must have a foundation and trust of what you're actually doing. And that's it. So let's make sure that we can do something like that as we're going through looking at these things. I think that I'm off the air now. I'm not even sure. Al, is there music coming? I haven't heard anything. It looks like I've got a break here, so I don't know. Am I right? I don't think so. Maybe I'm wrong. Oh, I am wrong. Sorry, folks. I got a little bit more of this. I've got 2 minutes left of the segment, but let me get back to the part about, the reason why I'm bringing this about Mark Douglas, folks, is that he was on my mind yesterday, and well, most of the time he is, but yesterday just a whole lot. And I remember him telling me he had somebody here that is extremely, extremely famous. And the guy had like 6 cell phones in his briefcase. And, Mark made him leave them out in the car because they were ringing all the time. And his main thing is that he really hated to leave money on the table. He really felt that he was that good that he could take most of it on the table. And yet he never did. Never. He said, once in a while. But he said never. And so Mark worked with him to try to get him to realize that it's not important. It really isn't. You know what's important, folks? My grandma told me once, when you die, she said, if there are 2 people at your gravesite that are not family members, you've lived a great life. If you have 2 people that go to your funeral services that are standing by the gravesite as they put you down that last time, then you've lived a really wonderful life. And if you have 10 or 20, then you've led a great life. So try to live as best you can. Like the old Navy SEALs say, live fast, love hard, die young, and make a good-looking corpse. and try to be nice to people while you're on this earth, I think you're going to be okay. That's the main thing. Let's try to do that, everyone. I try to tell that to my kids, and I try to live by that motto. And that motto that I use, live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and that is right directly from Tony Robbins. And I knew Tony when he was just a kid, 21 years old, in Venice, California, when he started giving those little lectures. I used to attend them. They were like $25 each. A little more than that now. Anyway, that's what we're paying attention to today. When we get back, we're going to talk about this euro trade one more time. So we'll be right back.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metals sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern. For free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, I'm back, folks, and we're going to talk about this euro trade because it's only hit the number once. I heard the beeper go off. And so it has not hit the exact 61% retracement what we want to see. As you can see on the chart that we're looking at, the chart is not showing shut the front door and raise the rent. Give me a second here. Oh dear, I don't know what happened. Hold on one second here. Technical difficulties coming out of the mine here in Tucson, Arizona. Hold on here. Just give me a second to get it back up. And there it is. And away we go. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I like doing this radio show, is because sometimes we can do these things live and show you what's going on. Anyway, you'll notice that this level right here is where we are right now. I've heard it hit one time, but only once, but we're still there. I mean, this isn't there. We're hitting it again now, so There it is. So we're going to find out if it's going to work or not, because we just rang the bell in the old euro. So that was at 107, 1088, 108, yeah, 1087 is what it just hit, 10872. That's the exact number. So your stop would be above that. Okay, now that's the completion of that particular sequence of events. Okay, so let's get on with what happened yesterday in the S&P. Okay, now here's where we were. If you remember yesterday, and this was something that we talked about while we were on the air. So let's just look at where we were. Okay, here's where we were yesterday. If you remember, there's where we were yesterday, and it was coming down. We had this rally, if you remember, and then overnight it came all the way down and hit the exact number, folks. That number of that ABCD pattern measured to 4010. And that's where we covered the short. And I said, you've made 80 handles on that on the way down. And so what you do is you risk 10 handles by buying it. But it wasn't a fly-by-night buy. Look at this, folks. This is a perfect 1, 3, 5 pattern. If you're willing to sell the ABCD up here, and if you move that channel higher, you can see you can just draw a perfect channel line. So you have higher tops, higher bottoms. You're in an uptrend, and look where you are. You're way up here already. You know, you've already retraced 62% of this whole move already, and that means that this thing could have another ABCD to the upside. And I'll show you how to handle that in just a second. But the main thing to remember is look at this distance down, folks. Look how the market repeats. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. You could teach a class about this, and people have done it. Franklin Tubbs, Charles Lindsay, other people, and I talk about it all the time. But if you did that, that's your channel line to the upside, and you're just buying in an uptrend. That's all you're doing. Now, this one here, you were selling, but don't forget on the longer time frame, that was just basically an ABCD sell in a down market. So that's why that wasn't anything hard to do. So that's where we were today, and whether it continues or not, I don't know. But let's take a quick look at what happened today. Okay, this is the real deal if you're watching it, because here's what you want to be paying attention to. If we went and looked at it on a smaller time frame, which is we're going to go down to a 15-minute, and we'll get this up here and show you where we are. And you'll see there's where we were yesterday. Okay, there was the high. We were selling up at that level. If you remember, we had the ABCD. This was the rally up in the middle of the night. Okay, and here we came down, and look at that perfect ABCD right at the bottom. And then what happened? It takes off, and look what it did. The first pullback. This is when the opening bell and all the the crazies are trading that first 45 minutes. It makes a 382 retracement, absolutely perfectly right there, and then takes off on a running run. Now, if it's really bullish, it's going to hold up to 382 retracements. Am I not correct? That would be my guess. So let's just take a look at it on a little bit smaller time frame, but we are going to blow it up so that you'll be able to see what it really looks like and what really happened. I hope this helps, folks, because I believe in this stuff. And anyway, look, the market rallies up. There's your first 382 at the opening. Then we had another 382 right here, and the market took off around another 15 or 20 points. So the key is now, if you're in this and you're nervous, you just put your stop right in here. That number is, I believe, at 40.52. I believe is that 382 retracement. So it shouldn't get down there anymore. So that's what I would be looking at. So that's pretty much, what we're watching here today. But it's acting well, for heaven's sakes. We certainly know that. By the way, folks, my guest tomorrow will be Bill Meridian of Cycles Research. As always, he's got some wonderful stuff. He'll be on most of the hour. I'll do the first segment, and then Bill will probably continue with the stuff he's looking at, because he's had some really good stuff to tell us about the markets. The fact that he's been extremely bullish, gold and silver. He's been bearish bonds for quite a while. And also in the stock market, he's been a little friendly too, but not super friendly. Those are just a couple of things that Bill will be talking to tomorrow. Now, I've had a question about crude oil. 1 second, boys and girls. I don't want to get dehydrated here. Okay, all right, here's where we are here. Okay, this is, let's get this crude oil chart up here, and then we have to talk about soybeans too. So, okay, now here's crude oil Sunday night. Okay, now we alerted the folks on the video Sunday night that this was a 382. It stayed there for an hour, right there, that 382. Then it had a nice move down. It had another rally, and where did it stop? Johnny, put your hand down. People can see this. He makes a perfect 382 right here again, and then boom, down it comes. And here's what I'm looking at, folks. You see the two ratios coming in here, 127 and 1.618 in this red box? What that is, it's telling you this swing's target has been met, and this swing's target has been met, okay? And you've completed one A, B, C, D pattern here, and you've completed another A, B, C, D pattern right here. And there was the buy. And look at this. It's already gone above this stuff up in here. I mean, it's already exceeded that. So that's a $2,000 move. And look at the amount of risk. It stays here for a good 45 minutes right at that number. And that's why the patterns are so good, because if it goes beyond that number, something's wrong, and that's when you want to get outside of the railroad tracks and don't let the train run over you. So let's keep that in mind as you're watching some of these things. So those were the three that we're looking at. Of course, the euro is what we're watching right now, but it might be the one that blows up and doesn't work. But by golly, the risk here is very, very small, and you're trading in a short-term downtrend now, longer-term downtrend too, because the euro's been bearish for a very, very long time. And it's had a lot of consolidation that busted today. And those people that were long were sitting there, with their hand out saying, oh, my God, what do I do next? Well, that's something that you want to think about, too. We're going to have another setup for you when we come back from the next break. The reason why I'm bringing these up is I'm trying to get people stimulated to realize that this stuff does work. It doesn't work all the time, but it works most of the time. And that's what you've got to focus on, is the fact that focus on when you're wrong, folks. Don't focus on when you're right. That's why we got out of that natural gas trade right away, and I haven't touched it yet because there's not been any indication that natural gas has turned. But when it does, and when it does, we're going to be watching it with the old microscope because it's got some great potential. So, all right, we'll be back after this. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Okay, folks, I have posted a chart of March soybeans. It's an hourly chart going back all through the month of January. And this high that you have on the far left here was December. You see the market had a beautiful A, B, C, D to the downside. You'll see that the CD leg was exactly 382 of the high that we made here. That completed that right here, took out all the stops that were done. This was a great buying opportunity. You had the rally up, stopped right at the new 382, came down, stopped at the 78% level, and then started its run to go into new highs here, okay? And from that level, see, you had a pretty substantial break that came down into this level. It has a perfect 382, and we're talking, these are $2,500 moves in here, folks. You're talking 40, 50 cents in beans. You make a perfect 382 right here, and then you come down and you make a double bottom. You take out the stops, which is where people usually put them. And if you're going to put a stop in, put it in below those levels, because then you don't have to worry about the double top, the double bottom. And then as you come down, you'll see a perfect double bottom here. You take out the stops, okay? And then what happens? The market takes off, runs like a rabbit right up to the exact 61% retracement right here, backs off to a 382 retracement right here, and then explodes to the upside. And you can see with the action that we had today, we're getting very, very close to this number. About another 25 cents higher in soybeans, we're going to have a completed A, B equals CD pattern. And again, you notice I posted this in this red box here. That's the selling area, because at that point, you're going to have time and price together. That should be sometime this week. So we got to be I'm going to be watching that every day, and I'll send a video out as we get closer to it to see if that's what we're going to be watching here. So let's keep that on the weather box here. Also, this little low that we had yesterday was an exact 382 of this one, just like we did in the S&P. So you have a 382 here, a 382 here, and this is what we're looking for up in this area right here. Now, if we start to fail somewhere down in here, then that means this market's probably going to be done with. You'll have to change strategy. But right now, the strategy says stay on the right side of the market, because it's got a chance to rally up to that final high that'll be right here where that red box is. That's around, I think it's around 1575, as I believe. Well, yeah, by gosh, it's 1557. That's a pretty good spot. It's about 20 cents from where we are right now in the soybean. So let's remind ourselves that that's what we're watching here with the soybeans. And I had one other chart that someone asked about, and just give me 1 second and I'll get it up here. And that was about the dollar yen. I wanted to get this up here, right here. You'll be able to see this right away. And a question that he posed, are we making a potential bottom in the yen? Yes, there is a possibility that this low could hold right here. But it's still new. We got a 3 drive pattern. There's drive 1, there's drive 2, there's drive 3. And we rallied up, and we haven't rallied very much. That's the problem. Usually when you get a really nice 3 drive to a bottom pattern like that, you don't have to fight it. It's usually just going to take off and go. Look at this one. You see this beautiful pattern here? There's that end. There's a 135 pattern here. Look how it rallies here just a tiny little bit, and then bada bing, bada boom, boom, down it comes. So that's when you see this doesn't even make a 382 retracement, but it rallies here and then doesn't give you very much. And when that happens, that's a daily chart, folks. You're talking about a move that went from 139 up to 142. That's $1,000 move, and yet that's all it could do in 5 days. And then you can see what happens when it starts to weaken. That'll happen to the stock market someday. I don't know if it'll be in my lifetime or not, but it will happen. So let's remind ourselves that's what we're paying attention to, and you've got to really, make sure that you're filled. Now, you absolutely are 100% filled now in the euro. So you did get filled at 108.72, and actually 107.28 was the fill, and we're trading 107.43, 4 pips out of the way. But anyway, you got your stop working right above 109, and so if it works, that's great, and if it doesn't, there's no big deal. You're still long the stocks. We're approaching a 78% level now in the Dow Jones, and this thing really is strong, folks. It's got all the power that you could ask for. It doesn't care about the news. Tomorrow, the Federal Reserve boys will be out talking about what the market's going to be doing with this interest rate. They're probably going to raise a stop the music, a half of a handle or half a basis point, a quarter of a point interest rates is what it is, folks. Hold on, let me get this back up here so we can see the pattern again. Someone's asked me what would be the price objective on this chart if it's correct. Well, the price objective would be the A, B, C, D of this move, just like it came down perfectly, okay? It's come down perfectly, and if it repeats, it's going to repeat again. And all you have to do, folks, it's real simple. All right, really simple. What you do is you take this number right here, which is 4112, and you add it to the low here, which was 4010. Okay, you add those two together, and then you subtract point A, which is this point right here. All right, and then you hit the equal sign, and that'll tell you what that pattern is going to be to the upside. It's going to be substantially higher. As a matter of fact, since we're on the air, and we can do this here in the next couple of minutes, let's get this up here so the boys and girls can see what we're talking about, and you'll get a rough idea of what we're doing here. Hold on one second. And then we just drew this. Let's just draw this out a little bit more so everybody can see it. Put it down a little bit more here. Clean out all this stuff here because we don't need it. And now we're going to show you what the ABCD target would be, and that would take us up to, and the bell is ringing, and that's a big bell up here because that's a major. Just give me 1 second to set this up to put it into the den because I can use it later. Hold on 1 second here. You'll be able to see this pattern here right now, and here it comes. Stay tuned, boys. It's not Memorex. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Okay, and there it is. There's the ABCD on this. This is way up here, folks. That from that level, I hate to think what that could be, but we have a stop working now. We bought it at 40.10, so our stop now is at 40.50. I'm not going to, because it either makes $2,000 and we're out, or it's going to go all the way up here and we're going to make $7,000. Because time out. Absolute number one rule in all of the things. Don't start calculating what the hell the thing's going to get to, because I swear a million times out of a million times that's not going to happen. Focus on what the heck the risk is. My risk now is the 40.50. Yes, if it gets to 41.40, I'm going to be a happy camper. Yep, clap my hands. But if I start talking about and thinking about it, it ain't going to happen. It really isn't. If you ever want to buy something in the market with market you made in the market, take it out of your account, buy it, and don't worry about it. Trade first, and what you want is right behind that billboard where it says trade first, and what you want is behind the billboard, not in front of the billboard. Absolutely imperative. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. All right, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den. Hosted at Discord, TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Okay, folks, that last segment, I ended it, and I want to go through it again, and that is, if there's something that you want to buy and you want to take it out of your markets, the money you made in the market, just take out the money and buy it and get it out of your mind. Because if you start focusing on buying a new motorcycle or a new car for your wife or even a night out or a weekend out, whatever it is, that's going to screw up your trading, because that's what you'll be thinking about, and you can't do that. Trading is simple, but it's not easy. The easy part is just putting the order in and not thinking about it. The trouble is people are watching every tick, or every day they're checking what their investments are. If you have a plan, put the plan in motion and just execute what you're supposed to be doing. I had a trade once in eggs where I thought I'd made $20,000. When I came in the morning, the report was changed. They put the report out wrong the first time. Instead of the eggs going up 4 limits in a row, they went down 4 limits in a row. When I thought they were up 4 limits in a row, I went to the beautiful Maury's shop in Beverly Hills. It's where the movie stars buy their beautiful clothes, and I bought this lovely leather jacket, Western style. I paid $2,000 for it, folks. That was 1973. A $2,000 coat in 1973. Larry, are you nuts? Well, $3,000 was nothing back in that day, because limit up on the eggs was a guaranteed, because the government was going to buy everything available. The problem was it was a minus, not a plus. And in the morning, and there I am sitting here with this coat that I paid for. And yet I couldn't wear the coat, folks. I never could wear it. Finally, 4 or 5 years later at St. Jude's Church there in Westlake Village, where they buried Vin Scully, the son of a gun, I gave it in as part of a reverse auction. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. Bill Meridian, may God bless.